sports fans. Larry Eater on Blog Run. This is Conversations with Larry. Today we're talking about Lamine Diack and his legacy. And he does leave a legacy. Diack was a long in Senegal when he was an athlete. And he was a sports politician. And he was a man who, well, I would call him a pragmatist. I met him on several occasions and spoke to him in both English and French. And I found him to be very charming and to be very thoughtful. I thought he could be rather egotistical as well. I also saw him be rather cruel to his staff. At the end of the day, what Diack is going to be remembered for is the corruption that he brought to the IAAF. Now, it doesn't mean that corruption wasn't there before. Under Primo Nebbiolo, who was probably the ultimate Italian used car salesman, the sport was, he shook up the sport, Nebbiolo did. He liked to be treated like a prince of the sport. He was one of the real power brokers. And he was able to bring money into the sport. And at one time in the sport, he got to the point where, this was about 1996, there is the story related to me by some Nike lifers that Phil Knight met with Mr. Nebbiolo, and there was an offer for Nike to sponsor all the federations in the sport. But Nebbiolo thought he could get a little more money, and he turned it down. After Nebbiolo, you had Lamine Diack, and while Nebbiolo wheeled and dealed, Diack used his son, Papa Diack, to wheel and deal for him. And there were several very unfortunate situations, among them the blackmail paid by the Russian Federation of about 2.3 million for a group of 23 athletes, including Lilia Shobakova, to hide her test. And several other people within World Athletics were caught with money in their pockets or in the cookie jar. And actually one was caught with 80,000 euros in a cookie jar. Diack died in Senegal. He had been under house arrest in Paris, and a good friend of his, a lifelong friend, who owned the top soccer club in Senegal, wrote a check for, I believe, 500,000 US to get him to be able to come back to Senegal and die in his own bed. We've spent since 2015 trying to clean up the absolute shit that Lamine Diack left. And it was corruption at its highest level. And Papa Diack is as bad, if not worse, than his father. The difference is that Papa is still alive, and he is going to now try to ruin people's careers and suggest that certain people took money and certain people are bad in this. And the truth is, he's got his money hidden. He took money on several occasions. I've seen copies of everything from wires with his Black Tidings company to money he made from other involvement, but most of it was dirty. And if the powers that be in Senegal want to keep him there, then just keep him there. Because him getting out, he's on an Interpol list, and he will be arrested. We're still not clear of all the stench from the Diacks. And unfortunately, Lamine had done some things that could have been seen as good. It was a big deal for him to bring the World Championships to the U.S. It was also a big deal for him to be so successful as Beijing was. But all the other things around it, all the trappings the trappings of power, the were a bit too much, and it took money away from athletes, officials, and us putting on meets. And that was a sad thing. And that's why anytime he comes up on Wikipedia, there's going to be more negative there than positive. And it's sad because as one of the true sports leaders in Africa, Diack could have stood for some really great things. This is Larry Eder with RunBlogRun on the sad life of Lamine Diack. This is Conversations with Larry. Thank you again for viewing and listening, and thanks to Mike Deering, our production manager.